Right, let's do this. Go.
Okay. Right now? Ready? Okay.
I haven't started filming yet.
Oh.
Now.
Okay, are you ready now?
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm doing a deck
All right, right now.
Alright, so I'm doing a deck profile on right now.
Now.
Alright, so I'm doing a deck. Are you filming?
Oh, no, now I am.
Dude, fuck off. So this is Infernoids. This is the deck I took to YCS Tacoma. It hasn't been altered since then because I haven't needed to. But I might need to make a couple changes on it in the near future when the new support comes out because it's broken to shit. So yeah, I'll explain a little later on after this profile how I did it in YCS. But we'll
Why not just tell before so people know?
No, I
watch the video.
I'm gonna save it for last. We'll just post that on as the title. So first thing, you got your 3 level 2 Antras. This guy bounces face-up cards. It's pretty good. You banish 1. All the guys that are under level 5 have the same thing where you banish a guy like an Infernoid and then you can special them from the hand only. You can't special these guys from the grave. And they all have that effect where you can banish this guy on your turn, or well, you contribute a monster on your opponent's turn, and you banish something from their graveyard. So that's kind of cool. Next, we got 3 Harmadicks. This guy is the $30 hype dude for no reason. He's just pops a monster. He's not that good. Exact same effect as Antro, where you can tribute a monster on your opponent's turn and banish something from their grave. And then we got the 3 Petrulias, the level 4 guy. This guy is basically an MST, so, but they all have the thing where you can't attack with them if you use their effects. The little guys, anyway. So, that's kind of gay, but it's actually not too bad in the end of the day. This guy here is probably the best Infernoid in the deck, Sightsamus. He's the level 7 guy. I don't run the level 5 because he's total shit. So the level 7 dude, Sightsamus, if he attacks into a monster, doesn't matter if he does damage or not, if he attacks your opponent's monster, at the end of the battle phase, you can banish any card on the field, whether it's your field or their field.
It doesn't target.
And it doesn't target, yeah, that's right. So it's pretty stupid. So if they try to change something to it, then, you can just banish whatever the hell they decided to bring out with when they activated a new effect. Like Shadal Fusion or something. But yeah, this is a guy, Tondel. He's pretty damn good against the majority of decks. He's not very good against Cliffords. But other than that, he's a pretty boss. He can attack twice if he kills a monster and sends it to the grave. So it's pretty much, you could deal 4,000 damage with just this guy alone. He's such a huge OTK helper. I'd rather have him out than Sightsamus a lot of the time, but Sightsamus is just more of a better card, a better choice. The thing is about the big guys is you can tribute a monster on either player's turn and do the banish effect from your opponent's grave, so that's kind of cool with that. Yeah, on to the next guy. Got the big chicken of the deck, Nunchu. He's pretty gross, but he's not like totally broken because he once you bring him out, if you have no other Infernoids on the field and you bring him out, you can't bring any more out because he's a level 10. So you bring him out and that's it. You can't summon anymore. So because they all have that level restriction where it's you can't special summon them if you have effect monster levels of 8 or over 8 on your side of the field. So and his effect is when he's special, he blows up the field of monsters. If a spell or trap card or effect is activated, you can tribute a monster during either player's turn and banish that card and negate it. It's pretty stupid, so that's retarded. That's pretty much all you got to say about that. Those are the Infernoids. Like I said, I don't run the level 5 guy because he's ass. But now for the engine, we run a small milling engine. We run 2 Raiden because he's the tuner of the deck. Pretty awesome. Everybody knows what Raiden does. We got 1 Lila, gets rid of floodgates, vanities, and Imperial Iron Wall is a really bitch of a card to deal with in this deck. It's pretty much the only major side decking card for this deck, against this deck anyways. And then you got one Lumina. I don't run Card Trooper because I think Card Trooper is just a waste of space, and I'd rather go into Michael, or have the ability to go into Michael, or pitch to get Raiden. Like, you know, there's just so many better things you can do with a Lumina and a Raiden on board than you can with a Card Trooper. You got a Card Trooper on board and you mill 3. You get a Lumina, you pitch for Raiden. If Raiden comes on board, you mill 2, and then on the end phase you mill another 5. Like, you're milling 7 right there. Like, I would much rather do that and then have more synchro options than just have a freaking floating Card Trooper on. Like, just, everybody hypes the crap out of Card Trooper. I think it's just crap. But anyway, so that's the monster lineup. We don't run Blaster because he eats up your banished fodder, and that's just not good. But MVP of the deck by far, these 4 cards right here, Monster Gate and Reasoning. Stupid. Like, broken in this deck. This is your win condition. If you open with this, you're probably going to win, unless they have a Vanities or something. But even then, it's like, most of the time when you have Reasoning, you don't want the summon. So if they call level 4, it's actually good for you, because you don't want more levels on board. And Monster Gate is like a guaranteed special summon. I'm hoping this card will go to 2 on the April ban list, so that, you know, this deck becomes even more consistent. But, you know, we'll see what happens. It might not, but hopefully it does. And then we run the stupid Snatch Steel Hidden Armory engine. That's, you know, in this deck it's stupid because it's probably the most consistent deck in the game for this engine, because it's just, we don't ever normal summon, and you special all the time. You take your opponent's shit, you know, just retarded. And 3 MSTs, you need to run MST because Floodgates are the out to this deck. So just 2 Void Seer. This is the best spell / trap support that they have as of Secrets of Eternity. By far, like, there's no point in running the Void Expansion's field spell or Void Launch. Void Launch is okay, but I don't run it. I don't think it's very good. And that what other one? Eye of the Void. It's a piece of shit card too. This card, on the other hand, is totally busted. Like, your Infernoids are, you can chain this to any effect your opponent does. It's a quick play. Any Infernoid that you target with this is unaffected by your opponent's card effects until the end of the turn. And then if it's in the grave, you can banish it to prevent the destruction by card effect of one of your opponents on board. So it's, you know, it helps you out with Raigeki and Darkhole and, you know, all that stuff. And it doesn't activate if it's in the grave and you do the banishing effect. It doesn't activate. It doesn't start a chain. It's an unclassified effect, so it can be used in the damage step. So, like, what you can do is you can have an Atondel on board, 2800 beater, attack into a Construct. Construct's effect will go off to immediately kill the Atondel, but you can use this from grave, banish it, and then Construct, and Atondel will crash. You know, that would be a stupid play, but I'm just saying, like, that's the potential you have with this card. And then we run 2 Darkhole and 1 Raigeki because you need outs to the Jinlock with frickin' Nekroz, because Nekroz is probably the toughest matchup for this deck, I'd say. Besides Yosenju, I gotta say Yosenju's a bitch for this deck, but this fucking guy knows. So yeah. It's obvious reasons. We run the 1 Burial. I just actually put this in. This is one card I didn't use at YCS Tacoma, and actually I never missed it, but people just talked me into running it again.
Me.
This guy talked me into running it again because he thinks it's good, even though I don't really see a point to running it. But because usually if you need this card, you're already in a losing position or you're in a winning position. So either way, there's really no, I don't know, there's no good time to use this. Like, you're either going to kill your opponent or you're going to lose, and this is going to really help you. But, you know, it's a free special summon, so whatever. I mean, you know, put it in. And then we run the 1 Charge of Light Brigade because it's milling and you get to search, so it thins your deck 4 cards, which is pretty stupid. And then the last one, we run 1 Needlebug Nest because it's, you know, 5 card mills. And this is what I'll take out if Monster Gate goes to 2. But, yeah, so that's how it is for now. So that's the main deck, 40 cards. It'd be stupid to run anymore. Extra deck, pretty important because you do go in your extra deck, despite what a lot of people say. We're on the one Crimson Blader. He's the only level 8 we run because he's just good against Shadals and Infernoids, and it's pretty good against Necros sometimes. So, not bad. Scrap Archfiend, pretty awesome because he's a 2700 beater, and that's really all he is. He's not an effect monster, so he doesn't contribute to the level costs or the level restriction. So, right there, you get this guy out with Lumina and Raiden, and then or a Harmodic and Raiden or whatever, and then you special out another big guy like a Tondel or a Sightsamus, and then you special out a Nunchu, and you just go for game. So, yeah. Scrap Archfiend. And then we got the one Yazi because he's stupid against Burning Abyss and a lot of targeting effects and all this stuff. Yazi's great. Michael, because probably one of the best synchros in the game right now. He just especially for this deck, he banishes something for pretty much no cost. He mills 3 on the end phase, and if he's destroyed, you gain life points back and you get to recycle some Light Sworns. So it's... Card Trooper does not let you go into this, so fuck Card Trooper. Black Rose, because this is the one you're going to be going into more than any other synchro in this deck. This guy for game, because it's retarded against Clifforts. It's retarded against Clifforts. And then this guy is just kind of another normal guy. So he's Antra and Michael, or Raiden. Antra and Raiden go into this. Another one normal that doesn't contribute to the level restriction. The Exceeds guys, we got a Draco Sack and a Big Eye for your level or your rank 7 plays, like 2 Sightsamises. You don't go into these guys very often, but if you're going to go into one, I'd probably pick him more often than this one. Unless you're, again, Clifforts is the one I would probably go into the Big Eye with, but yeah. Gemnite Pearl, because for the rank 4s, because it's another normal monster, doesn't contribute to the levels. Then you run Castel, Exciton, Lavalval, Dweller, and a Cowboy, because these are probably the best rank 4s in the game right now. So, any OTK deck needs to run a Cowboy, and Lavalval Chain is just stupid, and then the other 3 are self-explanatory. So that's it. That's the build right there. I'll talk a little bit about my YCS matches and all this stuff. So, let's see. First match I did at YCS was against Clifforts, 2-0'd him. It was a good match. My opponent was awesome, but he opened really good. This deck actually has a surprisingly really really good Cliffort match, so that helps. We had next match was another Cliffort match against one of my friends, Darren. He's goes to our locals. He's a real good guy. Felt like shit after beating him, but it's just better man won that day. That's just all I gotta say. And then next match after that was a Burning Abyss guy, I think. Yeah, Burning Abyss. Went to game 3. He was actually pretty damn good. The one problem I had with him was every time one of my guys came out on the field, he would ask me what their effects were. And meanwhile, I'm like doing plays, and his guys are in the grave, and I've got my guys coming out, and I'm gonna trigger their effects to banish their stuff before it activates, and then he goes and asks me what their effects do, and then I lose track of what just happened in the game, and I lose track of the current game state, and then he's like, okay, well, I'm gonna activate Graph Effect. I'm like, fuck, I just forgot that you milled that off Dante.
And then you should have just said, no, I was telling you what I was doing, and then just did it.
But when he activated his
and then
effect,
when he calls the judge, you say, well, I was trying to do it, but as soon as he activated Dante, he asked what it did, so he was trying to trick me, so no.
Yeah, it was kind of my bad there. So he beat me on that one, and then the next one was a Necros match. 2-0 the Necros player. He was actually really bad, so I just count that and chalk it up to just bad player, because I know for a fact Necros is stronger than this deck for the most part, but this deck can hold its own pretty well against Necros. And then we have another Burning Abyss match. Lost that one. I think he 2-0'd me. Every time I had the Snatch Steal, I milled with the Dante, and then I'd go to attack, and he'd MST the Snatch Steal, and that was always funny. But so I already committed with my battle phase, and so I didn't have any monsters on board, and yeah, I don't know. There's a lot more to that duel, but yeah. And then the fifth, it was another couple Cliffort matchups in there. And then the very last one was against Yusanjus that day. Round 8 was against Yusanjus, and I had, beat him game 1. He didn't show me what he was playing. But this is an interesting one, so I'll show you what my hand was. Beat him game 1, then game 2 he beat me, and then I sided because I knew what he was playing finally, and I had this as my opening hand. So, this and I think I had, no, I didn't have an Infernoid. I had Raiden and I had a Lumina, and I was going second because I lost and I made sure I went second. So I opened with this and then I drew into this. So I was like, okay. And I realized because he had one card set, so I would have gone, and he had a Tenki on board, so that's all he had, because Yusanjus don't have any field presence, right? So I had this to go for Lila, would have popped his back row, then I would have gone into Reasoning, and then I would have Reasoning again. No, I would have just needed one Reasoning, because my guys would have been on board. So
what if it was your next card, though?
Hey, my next card, I don't even know what my next card was.
It could have been the rated.
Yeah, it could have been. That would have been funny. But, no, like, I saw this hand. I think I actually had an Infernoid in my hand. I don't remember. It was a while ago now. But so I saw this hand, and I was thinking, okay, well, I got the Voids here in case he's got anything. And then I've got double Reasoning. I've got Charge of Light Brigade. Yeah, I did have an Infernoid because I was going to search for Lumina. That's right. So I had an Infernoid in hand there. We'll just say it's, whatever. It's this guy. So right there, I thought, okay, he's got one card set and a Tenki on board. Unless he runs Gores, I have game in my hand right now, and so I picked it up and I scooped. So I just kind of thought I didn't want to play game 2 or day 2 because I actually had personal stuff going on.
Well, you scooped while you had game?
Yeah, scooped while I had game. So
it was probably Vandy, so you didn't have it out.
No, I was going to search Lumina or
You
Lila.
just said you were going to search Lumina.
Well, no, I would have got Lumina off of the Reasoning. So, because I had 2 Reasonings in hand, so it wouldn't have mattered. Like, I would have gone Reasoning, and I knew right off the bat, like, if I thought, okay.
Great, you play Reasoning, and he calls 4, and you hit your Lila.
Yeah.
And then it goes to the grave.
Yeah.
And then
I would charge the Light Brigade for Lumina.
Right, and then you summon it and go effect, and then he plays Vanities, and then you lose.
If he's got Vanities, then, it's just whatever. I'm too tired of the debate right now. But I knew I had game because I would have just gone Lila, popped his Tenki. If he had a Vanity set face down and he flipped it up, I would have gone Lila, popped the Tenki, popped the Vanities, and then I would have just gone off and had game from there. So, all in all, I went 4-4 in day 1. It would have been 5-3 if I didn't throw the match, but whatever, it's all good. This deck was amazing. It is easily my favorite deck that I've ever played in Yu-Gi-Oh! I just can't stop playing it. I'm even playing it on Dev Pro and DN and all this stuff. So, yeah. Like, comment, and subscribe to this guy's channel. I'll send you guys an updated profile when the new support comes out and the new ban list comes out. So,
Swag.
That's it.
Swag.
Peace.